Alright, I'm gonna demystify this today. No hype, no fake promises, just the reality. Because ElevenLabs is one of those tools that look insanely powerful at first, and it actually is, but the way most people try to make money with it is completely wrong, or they tell you some fairy tales that you're gonna end up with thousands of dollars the next week. So yeah, let's break this down properly. First of all, what ElevenLabs actually is, at its core, it's an AI voice platform. You type text and it turns it into extremely realistic speech. Not robotic, not awkward, but something that actually sounds like human. That's why it's getting so much attention right now. You can also clone voices, which is where things get more interesting. You can train it in your own voice or create completely new voices that sound unique, and that opens up a completely different set of opportunities compared to older tools. But here's the part I need you to understand from the start. This tool does not make money. The tool itself, it doesn't make money. You can generate the best voiceovers in the world and still make zero if you don't have system behind it. Most people get excited about the technology, but they never think about how it actually connects to revenue. And you can connect this with other tools, for example, like Zapier. That's what I'm going to talk about today. And yeah, we're going to talk about where the actual opportunities are, and we're going to be realistic. And yes, I am going to talk about content because this is the most obvious money-making solution when it comes to voiceovers. You don't even have to do it yourself, for yourself. You can do it for others. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, faceless channels. This is where most people start. You take a script, you turn that into a voiceover, you add some visuals, and you post it. And yes, this works. ElevenLabs voices are good enough that people don't immediately click off, which already puts you ahead of older AI voice tools. But this is also where people mess up. They treat this like a one-time thing. They post one video, maybe two, they don't see results, and then they stop, and that approach will never work. Content, unfortunately, is a volume and consistency game. You need to post regularly. You have to test different formats. You have to fail a lot. And, most channels don't grow in the first week or even the first few months. It takes consistency. And more importantly, it takes patience. You might create dozens of videos before something starts working. And that's normal. That's how every content model works, AI or not. The advantage you have here is speed. You can produce content faster than someone recording everything manually. But speed only matters if you actually use it consistently. Now, the second opportunity that you can use with this voice library here, like this one.
It was so great to catch up last weekend. We should do it again sometime soon.
Well, the second opportunity is freelancing, and this is where things can become more immediate. First of all, there are already businesses, creators, and marketers paying for voiceovers. YouTube narration, ads, course content, audiobooks, all of these require voice. And not everyone wants to record it themselves. With ElevenLabs, you can deliver voiceovers in minutes instead of hours, of course, and that gives you a strong advantage in pricing and turnaround time. You can start offering services on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, and even reach out directly to creators who need help. But again, this is not automatic. You need to understand what clients want, and you need to communicate properly. You need to deliver clean, high-quality outputs, and if you treat this like a shortcut, you'll get low-quality results and no repeat customers. If you treat it like a service, you can actually build something sustainable. Now let's talk about one of the more advanced features. It is voice cloning. This is probably the most powerful part of ElevenLabs. You can create a voice that sounds consistent, natural, and unique. You can clone your own voice once and reuse it across all your content, which saves a huge amount of time.
Sherlock Holmes's quick eye took in my occupation, and he shook his head with a smile as he noticed my questioning glances.
So, not a lot of difference there. There's also a monetization angle here. ElevenLabs has a voice marketplace where you can publish voices and earn when others use them. But I want to be honest about this as well. This is not easy money. Uploading a voice and hoping people use it is not a strategy. You need quality, you need something unique, and you need demand. Without that, nothing happens. But if you build something that people actually want, it can turn into a passive stream over time. Now we come to something that is actually maybe the best opportunity. Most people overlook this, and it's building systems for businesses. It's more complex, it's more work, but this is where things move beyond content, all right? Companies are starting to use AI voices for customer support, for sales calls, lead qualification, automation, whatever. So instead of hiring people to answer repetitive questions, they build voice-based systems. And with ElevenLabs here, you can be a part of that. You're not just creating content anymore. You're creating solutions. For example, a small business might want an AI assistant that answers some basic customer inquiries. You can help set that up and charge for it, either as a one-time service or as a monthly subscription. This requires more learning, but it also pays more. And you have to learn to use some other tools as well, so you can combine ElevenLabs with that. For example, Zapier here is a perfect tool, which, it's not so hard to master, all right? And then you can do something that these people are doing. They combine, for example, Zapier, Make, and all of these other N8N, and they make these voice calling agent bots, all right? Now, what's really beautiful about this is that, as I've told you, you can sell it as a one-time service, but there's always going to be a need for something to add there. So it's going to be a recurrent customer once you get a client, all right? They will want to update something. They will add new information in their company. So they will just call you again to update the software, the agent, and that's always good to have repetitive customers. Take a look at this person, for example. $90 is a one-time service. He will build AI voice agent with FAQ answering, and he is going to use Zapier and ElevenLabs. Now, this is really good that this person is doing. He combined two tools and, of course, did a lot of work, but in the end, he has something unique, all right? And has something that is in demand right now. So really smart. There's not a lot of people like this, so the market for this is open. Anybody can do it, but of course, as I've told you, it will require work. It will require you to get knowledgeable about ElevenLabs and also with Zapier to create these workflows. Now let's talk about some downsides because this matters just as much. The first one is, of course, cost. ElevenLabs works on a credit system. The more you use it, the more you pay. In the beginning, it's manageable, but if you start scaling, your costs will increase. That's why you need to be intentional with how you use it. Second, competition, if you want to go the content route. AI content is everywhere now, and if you're just doing basic voiceovers with no direction, you will blend in, and the barrier to entry is lower, which means more people are doing the same thing. You need to differentiate yourself through ideas, execution, or niche selection. Third is consistency, and this is where most people fail, and it has nothing to do with the tool. People get excited, and they try it for a few days, and then they stop because results don't come fast enough, but this is not a get-rich-quick model, all right? It requires work, it requires repetition and discipline. You need to show up even when nothing seems to be happening, and that's the part nobody wants to hear, but it's the truth. Discipline, a lot of work, and, it'll come together. So yes, if you want to make money with ElevenLabs, you need to stop thinking in terms of tools and start thinking in terms of systems. You have to pick one direction, content, freelancing, or this voice marketplace, which is maybe the best option. Just focus on one thing and get good at it, all right? Show up consistently, improve over time, and treat it like something you're building, not something you're testing, all right? And it's not going to be successful, even for a few months at first. Maybe you got lucky. So if I had to simplify this for you, ElevenLabs is not a magic wand. It's leverage. It allows you to move faster, produce more, and scale what you're already doing or want to do. But it won't replace effort. It won't replace hard work and consistency, and it definitely won't replace discipline. The people who make money with this are not the best ones who find the best tool. Not the ones who find the best tool, all right? They're the ones who stick with the process long enough to see results. And if you can do that, then yes, there is a real opportunity here. Not overnight, but over time. And that's what actually matters. So yeah, wish you good luck, and I'll catch you next time.